Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into the Putback podcast with Tyler and Cole. Before we get things started today, I want to make sure you check out our socials. We have Twitter and Instagram. On Twitter, we are Podcast Putback, and Instagram, we are Putback Podcast.
Is there?
Now, what do we have on the docket today, team?
All right, so we're skipping stat lines today purely because I'm unprepared. We have some topics, and then we want to talk about the semifinals right now that are happening or that are going to happen. And then, obviously, we're going to talk a little bit about finals matchups as well. So, let's get into some spicy topics.
Some spicy.
All the way from Greece.
Spicy. So, what did Giannis do this week?
He's broken up with the Bucks.
Yeah, he got injured in, what was that, Game 5?
Yeah, that was Game 5.
Game 5, he left halfway through that. They ended up winning.
Then it was Game 4 because Miami beat Bucks 4-1. It was Game 4 they got injured then.
Okay, so it was Game 4 he got hurt. And the Bucks won that game.
Yes.
Then he missed Game 5, and it didn't go so well.
And now Giannis has unfollowed all of his teammates and the Milwaukee Bucks on Instagram.
So, red flag alerts.
Which is essentially like the Unfriended movie that came out a couple years ago.
Oh, man. What, is it going to be a haunted Zoom call or something?
Oh, yeah.
Talking to Middleton. Hey, anyway.
He also met with the ownership to discuss the future with the franchise. Now, he is contracted until free agency starts, because I think he becomes a free agent after the season's over, but
yeah.
Technically he's contracted, and there's a little bit of wiggle room to trade him, so from what I've heard. And Giannis's preferred destinations are the Toronto Raptors or the Golden State Warriors.
Wait, where did you see that at?
Twitter. All over Twitter.
It's all over Twitter. I don't have Twitter.
There's the problem.
So, Toronto would be freaking amazing, but I'm sure the Milwaukee Bucks want too much. They probably want freaking Siakam or something.
It's strange that the trade is an option, because really you're trading the rights to sign him, but that means jack shit. He's not a rookie anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure that
unless in his contract he becomes a restricted free agent, in which case then it's not bad to trade him. But he's been on a contract maybe he is an RFA because he's been on contract with the Bucks for a few years. A restricted free agent means they're limited to the teams that they're with and the teams that the team is okay with him signing with.
Huh.
Most players become an unrestricted free agent, but the Bucks extended Giannis' contract, so he might actually still be a restricted free agent. I didn't even. Maybe we should definitely look into that for next week. See if he's got a contract clause.
Yeah. Giannis would look good in a Raptors uniform.
Giannis look good in a Warriors uniform.
So I don't think that Giannis would look good in a Warriors uniform.
In orange? Or Warriors, I'm sorry. The
orange.
words just...
Orange. Who has an orange uniform?
The Raptors, if you're colorblind.
Oh, am I?
I said if you're colorblind. Not
okay.
You are. Like, Joe can't see orange.
Joe can't see orange?
No, he has no idea what a basketball looks like.
So he just sees like the black lines and he
just sees a round ball. Yeah, and it looks red to him.
Alright. Anyway. So
Giannis is single.
Giannis is single. What team would you want to see him go to?
If it's between the Raptors or the Warriors, I'm gonna say the Warriors. Just because I'm tired of hearing you, like, you've been on a high horse since we started watching basketball. Because the Raptors have always been good. They've always made the playoffs. And then they won a championship because you guys got Kawhi Leonard handed to you on a silver platter.
You're a salty Nets fan is what you are.
That's because we still have Kyrie and we haven't traded him
You're a
yet.
salty Net fan.
Damn straight.
There you go. Trade Kyrie for Giannis.
We should trade Kyrie for Giannis. Yeah. Can you imagine KD and Giannis on the same team?
I don't want to.
I'm going to go on 2K later and figure that out. I think that'd be interesting. Legitimately though, if his preferred destinations are the Raptors or the Warriors, without being spiteful, I'm gonna say I want him to go to the Warriors. If it's anywhere, I would love to see him help out the Magic, because the Magic have a lot of good pieces that just don't have that centerpiece, that star. And I think Giannis on the Magic can make a phenomenal run.
I'd like to see him in several places. I think he'd look good at Miami.
What about Lakers or the Clippers?
Well, let's stay out of the powerhouses.
But his options are the Raptors or the Warriors. You're talking about powerhouses. He's talking about powerhouses. So it's only realistic to think that he can go to LA.
Yeah, but that's not fun. All right.
It's never going to be fun.
Yeah, him on the Lakers, I don't know. Man, that'd be...
Plus, if I were him, I'd go to the Warriors purely because, Milwaukee's cold and I'm kind of sick of cold weather, if I'm Giannis. I wouldn't want to go up to the north.
I don't know. He might like the cold.
He's been there for a few years. Got drafted in like 2013, so maybe he does. No, legitimately, I'd love to see him go to the Mavericks. That'd make a powerhouse.
Yeah, that would.
If
somehow they could keep Giannis, Luka, and
Porzingis.
That's him.
That'd be
Porzingis.
nice.
As long as he doesn't go to the Knicks.
Yeah, I can't see that happening.
Yeah.
OKC, teaming up with Chris Paul.
That would be nice.
That would be kind of good. Who else? I can't really think of any other.
Like I said before, Miami would be cool.
Do they have enough space for him though? They're 6 deep. Like they have 6 phenomenal. Like their rotation is just that good. Is there space for Giannis to like pop in? I mean, obviously the make space.
They make space,
but like fundamentally, the Heat are, essentially 8 games away from winning the championship right now.
True. I can't think of anybody else that he looked like that he would work into well.
I honestly can't. I can't really think of though the Wizards wouldn't be bad. John Wall, Bradley Beal, they need a good big. Giannis could play power forward. But that's honestly bad, and that's stretching it. I'm stretching it because John Wall and Bradley Beal. Since John Wall's a point guard, very ball dominant point guard, and since Wall got injured, Bradley Beal became a very ball dominant shooting guard.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine having 3 severely ball dominant players on the same team. Turn John Wall into a spot up shooter.
Yeah. What about Denver?
I mean that would literally turn the team into the Monstars. Bol, Jokic, Michael Porter Jr. 6'8".
They would be the Monstars.
They would. I could see it happening though. I mean they like, and it's Denver, high altitude, so Giannis doesn't have to worry too much about his ears popping. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Utah,
the Jazz, the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies would be a better fit than Utah.
You're right.
Team up with Ja Morant. Athletic
Giannis.
Freaks together would be insane.
That would be interesting. I'd like that.
And they still have Valanciunas down low. That would look good, I think.
Yeah, get Valanciunas a ring.
Facts. He deserves one.
Yeah. So other than those teams, those are the oddball teams that I can think of that might work. But as for LA, I don't know how him and LeBron would work together.
They wouldn't. It was just a.
Although we said that about LeBron and AD, we said they were kind of gonna butt heads.
Yeah, but Anthony Davis turned into a very good defensive. Well, he's always been a good defensive player, and LeBron, takes less shots. I've seen him score like 14 points in the playoffs, which is strange for LeBron. But no, I think it's strange to think about Giannis going to another team because in my head, just watching how the Bucks built around him, you build a team around Giannis. You don't move pieces in your already built team. You know what I mean? Like any team that touches Giannis has to rebuild because there's a very specific play style that he has that works very well, and you build around somebody like that. That's the future of your franchise the next 4 or 5 years.
Joel Embiid and Giannis. What would you think of that combo?
Big as shit. What are they doing with Ben Simmons?
Sending him to Miami. I don't know.
I could see that actually. They need better shooters. Maybe just trade Ben Simmons for a shooter.
Yeah.
I'd be, because, he can't shoot.
Here's an idea. Giannis to Chicago.
Who's on Chicago?
What's his name?
Otto Porter Jr.?
No.
Lauri Markkanen? Zach LaVine. That's what you're thinking of.
Go.
That'd be a good squad. They have big Lauri Markkinen too. If you guys let us know what team you guys think Giannis should go to. Get it at us on social media, Twitter and Instagram as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, comment down below. Let us know who you think Giannis should go to. We got to move off this topic though,
but it's a fun topic.
This is 11 minutes of Giannis dumping his teammates and who he's going to go to. The Celtics, in other news, beat the Raptors 4-3. This is the first time since...
I was right.
You
said 6. I said 7.
Oh, all right. Well, I didn't have faith in the Raptors, so...
Yeah.
This is the first time since being drafted that Patrick McCaw has not been in the finals and won a championship. He was drafted in, I believe it was he won the championships with Golden State, and then he went to the Raptors. So he has 3 rings right now. He's only been in the league for 4 years. This is the first time he's not going to win a championship, and it's all because of Kyle Lowry.
Now, I think that's pushing it.
I heard a couple things going around where people keep saying Siakam should go back to the G League because of how he performed.
Man, I don't think he did that bad, but
I don't think he did that bad either. Last year he did a lot better, but he also had an attention grabber, Kawhi.
Yeah.
So maybe he just needs a third star. I was gonna say another star, but Kyle Lowry's, big body point guard.
Yeah. So now the Celtics get to play the Heat.
Yes.
And we'll get into that in a minute.
I'm excited about that series. I'm very interested to see how it's going to go with how Heat's been running over things. But on a more positive note and very progressive note, you want to talk about this next one here?
I don't know how to pronounce your name.
Neither do I. That's why I wanted you to. All right. The Grizzlies hired MIT women's coach Sonia Raman as assistant coach, and she is now one of 11 females in the NBA to be an assistant coach. Progress, ladies and gentlemen. Progress.
Yeah, it's cool for her. I mean, one of 11, that's not a whole lot considering there's 30 teams. It's almost 2/3 of the league that don't have one on the squad. So that's awesome. Great step forward for the women.
We need some female coaches, though, not just assistant coaches.
I don't think a female's going to get a head coaching job anytime soon.
No, and it's unfortunate, and this is why. Grown men that are professionals like this, that didn't grow up playing like that, don't... This is what I read. I read a couple articles a few months ago when they were talking about doing this. Trying to get more female refs involved and coaches involved, is that they don't think that the men of the league will respect females as coaches.
Well, I don't think the men of the league respect men as coaches. Have you seen how some of these guys talk to their coaches?
I don't know. LeBron's a pretty good coach.
Yeah, LeBron. I don't think LeBron's heard a word his coach said since he's been a rookie.
No, it had to be 2 or 3 years after he was a rookie.
Yeah.
Whenever he started making it to the playoffs is when he stopped listening to his coach.
He's like, oh, I'm LeBron. I don't need it. You think Steve Kerr's talking to... I don't know. They might listen to Steve Kerr.
Who?
Golden State.
They definitely listen to Steve Kerr. That's why they win championships. Dude, Steve Kerr won 3 rings with the Bulls, won a ring with the Spurs, and then he won a ring with somebody else. He had 5 championships. No, maybe he had 4 championships before he became a coach.
He has 3 as a coach.
Yeah, you gotta listen to him. You know what I mean? There's no to it. Even if now Kerr was a role player on all of those teams, spot up shooter, but even as that, there's something about knowing how the championship games played, and it translates through all the generations. The only difference between when Kerr won those rings with the Bulls and the Spurs is shooting threes. But I don't know how many Kerr highlights you've watched, or if anybody's watched The Last Dance. The whole point of Kerr being on the team was to shoot the ball. He would shoot maybe 6-7 shots a game, and 4 of them are threes. And he would he got 40%.
That's a lot for the 90s.
That's a lot for even the late 90s when he won, because he was with the second three-peat. Yeah. When he won the rings, so he knows championship games, knows championship DNA, and he was a part of the progress that brought us to this 3-point era now.
Definitely.
So I listen to Kerr every day of the week.
You listen to Kerr every day of the week?
I would if he was my coach. 100%.
Okay, I was like, what? Do you have a podcast? What's going on? You mean you listen? All right.
No podcast is better than the Putback podcast. Let's be honest here.
Okay, that's pushing.
The number 1 NBA podcast in the world.
Yeah, this guy's full of shit. Oh, now my fucking mouth.
He goes, now my fucking mouth.
All right.
Moving on. Prediction time.
Moving back. I think that the NBA could use a ref as a woman.
There are a
Or
couple
woman.
refs.
Is there? I
Yeah.
thought you said there wasn't any.
When they were looking into doing this a couple months back.
Okay.
There's no female head coaches, is what I said. We do have a couple female refs, though. Not a lot. I think we have less female refs than we have assistant coaches.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not with the program today. All right, so moving forward.
Predictions. Currently, the Clippers are up 3-2 against the Nuggets. I think they play tonight. So, again, we're not... I mean, like, I can predict the future pretty well, but sometimes I'm wrong. What do you got going on? Clippers, Nuggets. Who's winning the series?
Clippers.
Clippers, you got them in 6 or you got them in 7? Can the Nuggets fight back?
7.
7?
Or, man, I don't know. Maybe 6. What time's the game tonight?
1.
1?
1 p.m. It's in 2 hours.
Okay, so you guys already know the answer to this. Yeah, let's just go Clippers in 7.
I got Clippers in 6. I think they're going to close out tonight. So
I think you're right, but...
Next, we have Miami versus Boston. Now, I think, if I remember correctly from the 2 seconds I saw the NBA screen earlier, they play at 3:30 today, the first game. Lakers have already progressed, in case you guys didn't know that. They won 4-1 against whatever team they were just playing. Why can't I remember what team they were just playing?
Who?
The Lakers. Who did the Lakers just beat?
The Rockets.
They beat the Rockets. Oh, yeah. Side note, did you know there's a conspiracy about the Rockets in the playoffs?
There's a conspiracy.
Yeah, so the Rockets, I think it was the head coach, or not the head coach, the owner, said something degrading about China, where the playoff games are being held. So, or the finals games.
China?
Yeah, China. The finals games are going to be held in China. This is what I'm hearing.
Why are the finals games being held
So they can bring the virus back. I don't know. Or broadcasting in China, something like that. But the Rockets games are banned in China. So the league would lose a fuck ton of money if the Rockets made it to the finals.
You know, I can't with 2020. I just can't.
Maybe it's being broadcasted. I think it's got to be broadcasted.
It better be broadcast.
Because we don't need them bringing back the coronavirus. The original.
Coronavirus.
The original. All right then.
So yeah, Miami and Boston.
What do you got? This is what we touched on this a little earlier. I think this is going to be a series that Miami doesn't win within 5 games. I thought they were going to beat the Bucks in 4 games, if you recall, a couple weeks back.
Miami in 5.
You only got Miami winning 1 game or losing 1 game. I'm sorry.
Miami in 5.
Miami in 5. I'm gonna have to go with that because I have been on Jimmy Butler's side this entire fucking time. He's a monster. I will preach for that man until the day I die. He is an absolute savage. You can tell he hasn't even got a haircut yet. He's all fucked up. Tyler Harrow's shooting lights out. Goran Dragic is nice. Duncan Robinson's dope. Bam Adebayo's killing it. The Boston has a lot of options, but I just don't see them beating the Heat.
No, I don't see it either.
Jason Tatum might come out and drop 45 and they win 1 game, but that is it.
I hope right. We'll find out.
Find out on the next episode of Samurai Jack.
Samurai Jack. Anyway, so that would who do you got? Clippers, Lakers.
Clippers versus Lakers. That's a tough fucking matchup because Kawhi won the ring last year, but LeBron was out. The Lakers never made the playoffs.
This is gonna make me sick to my stomach, but Lakers in 6.
Lakers in 6. If we have pandemic P, Lakers in 6. If we don't, I still have to say Lakers in 7. I don't think Paul George, dude, he's great.
You think playoff P versus pandemic P is only worth 1 game?
Yeah. He's great. He's like there's terms. You got a good player, a role player, starter, superstar, and all-star, right?
Yeah.
Levels to this shit. Paul George is not the top. He's a superstar, don't get me wrong. You could function a team around him, but he needs help. And Kawhi's there, but the Lakers just have... Dude, the Lakers have enough players to go at whatever. Like, they beat the Rockets with small ball. I saw clips of JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard sitting on the sideline like this. So if the Clippers want to run big, They got 3 different big men: Anthony Davis, JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard. If they want to run small, they just sit JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard on the side and say, take a nap. See you in 45 minutes.
You're right.
So the Lakers just have too many lineup options.
Lakers, Miami.
Did I have to just
Miami,
believe in it?
How many?
7.
7?
7. I just have to believe in it.
I really don't want LeBron winning another ring.
That would give him 4. Start talking a little bit about the Kobe MJ comparisons. Or maybe he can just be compared to Steve Kerr because they both won 4 rings. That'd be disrespectful, though.
Yeah, that's a little disrespectful. Yeah, I
gotta say Heat in 7. My heart just tells me Heat in 7.
It's either gonna be Heat in 6 or Lakers in 7.
So you think the Heat could beat the Lakers in 6 games, but the Lakers need 7 games to beat the Heat?
Something's telling me that. I'm like, now don't go to any betting sites and do that because I don't know how much I believe myself.
We're not professional gamblers here. We're just some fans.
But yeah.
That don't research enough before we do our podcast.
No, we don't. It's been a rough week.
You have no idea. No, I gotta say Heat in 7 though. It's telling me in this spot right here that
how much would you bet on that if you had to bet?
If I had to bet,
you had to bet.
My heart is saying the Heat, but my gut is saying I should probably hold back some of my money, fucking pay bills and shit. I'd probably put 100 on it for sure.
100.
Yeah, I think the Heat don't gamble.
I was thinking $1.
Gamble responsibly.
Oh man!
If you're under the age of 18, don't touch a website. Be good, children. Go fucking bet packs of bubblegum or whatever fucking kids do. Pokemon cards.
Yeah. Bet some bubblegum and some candy cigarettes.
Big lead chew if you're feeling tough.
Oh yeah. All right. So is that all we got today?
That seems like all we got today.
All right, man.
Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of the Putback Podcast. We're on episode number 21. Did you know that?
21?
21? This is
21?
We've done 9 episodes and then we did 10, so now we're at 21.
Nice.
This is episode number 21 of the Putback Podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.
Why'd you sound like Porky Pig there?
That's all, folks. Peace. No.
Peace.
Get us on the socials. Link down in the description below. Cole mentioned them earlier. Putback Podcast Putback. Podcast Putback on Twitter. Putback Podcast on Instagram.
There we go.
And we'll catch you guys on Twitter. Peace.
I stay loose, I stay hype. I stay loose, I stay hype. I stay loose, I stay hype. I could do this all night, cause I do what I like. Yeah, I do what I like. Yeah, I do what I like. Sipping goose, sip is right. And I go with the flow. Yeah, I go